Alrighty, guys, I'm once again 7-1 on my last 8 board member tier package bets on my website. And if you want to see a video breakdown of every one of my personal bets here today, the only way you can do that is to watch my board member podcast. And the only way to access my board member podcast is to join my full access, all-inclusive board member package on my website. But before we get into some more of that, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my college basketball free pick video here today for Monday, March 6, 2023. Happy Monday to you. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Of course, my name is Brock Page, and I've been giving out free sports picks right here on YouTube since 2016. I also sell my personal sports bets on patreon.com/BrockPage. Once again, guys, if you want to see a full video breakdown of every one of my personal bets here today, you can do that right now by becoming a board member on my website. Folks who are signed up to my all-inclusive board member package, they're going to get access to my board member podcast every single day you're signed up to the board member package. And you're also going to get access to every single personal play, every single package, every single day till April 1st as well. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my website. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side, and total. What I do on patreon.com/BrockPage is I actually share with you which one of these free picks on these videos that I'm actually betting on personally. Now, I currently have over 515 members who are signed up and active on my website right now. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to take a look at UNC Wilmington taking on Hofstra, 6 o'clock Eastern start time. Hofstra's -7, totals 134.5. Now, I think the pride of Hofstra should be able to cover this number here. They're one of the better scoring teams in their conference, and they're nearly a top 25 shooting team from the field. Tyler Thomas, he makes 50% of his field goals. He also ranks second on the team in points. Meanwhile, Aaron Estrada scoring a team-best 20 points a game. He's in the top 25 in the country in points per contest. They're facing a Wilmington team who's certainly not built for a track meet. The Seahawks are scoring just 62 points a game in their travels. And in their last 10 meetings with Hofstra, they allowed over 78 points a game, really struggling on the defensive end of the court. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. Now, one more thing to add here, guys. Hofstra had 19 contests this year against colonial opponents. They got the outright W 17 times. When it comes to the total, Hofstra saw unders in 5 out of their last 7. Meanwhile, Wilmington saw unders versus the likes of Towson, Northeastern, and William and Mary. Give me Hofstra -7, under 134.5. Next ball game, it is going to be South Alabama taking on Louisiana, 7 o'clock East. The Louisiana Raging Cajuns are -1.5, totals 139. The Cajuns have been real good with the ball in their hands. These guys average nearly 80 points a game. They're a top 20 shooting team from the field. Terrence Lewis, he makes 61% of his attempts from the field. He also averages double-digit points. Meanwhile, Jordan Brown scores just about 20 points a game himself. He leads the program in that category. They're facing a South Alabama team who's really struggled to slow down the Cajuns. They've given up 76 points a game in their last 10 meetings with Louisiana. And in their road trips, the Jags are scoring just 69 points per contest away from campus. Now, total-wise, South Alabama's gone 5-1 to the over on neutral sites this season. Meanwhile, Louisiana's gone 67% to the over in all of their contests away from home. Give me Louisiana -1.5, over 139. Next game, Northern Kentucky taking on Youngstown State, 7 o'clock East. YSU's -3, totals 137. Now, Youngstown's one of the most powerful offensive teams in America. These guys score over 83 points a night. And they're a top 10 shooting team from the field. Dwayne Cohill makes 52% of his attempts from the field. He also leads the team in scoring and drills 44% of his three-pointers. Meanwhile, Brandon Rush, he's scoring over 14 points a game himself, and he makes just about 40% of his three-pointers. Now, they're facing a Northern Kentucky team who scores just 63 points a game away from home. And KU is also amongst the worst offensive rebounding teams in the Horizon. Now, total-wise, the North saw overs against the likes of Oakland, IUPUI, and Wright State. Meanwhile, Youngstown's 70% of the over for the entire season. Give me YSU -3 over 137. Next game, it is going to be Towson taking on College of Charleston, 8:30 p.m. East. Charleston's -4, totals 149. Now, the Charleston Cougars are a top 15 scoring team in the nation. And no real surprise here, guys. Charleston's in the top 5 in the country in offensive boards. Ante Brozovic, he's averaging over 5.5 rebounds a game, and he scores double-digit points per contest. Meanwhile, Dalton Balone, he's leading the team in scoring and also averages nearly 5 rebounds a night. And in Charleston's last 10 meetings with Towson, the Cougs did get the outright W 8 times. And speaking of Towson, they're scoring just 68 points a game away from campus. Now, the Tigers were also held to just 69 points a game in their last 10 meetings with Charleston. So, once again, if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. Now, total-wise, the Tigers went 80% of the over in their last 10. They're also 12-7 to the over against conference opponents. Give me College of Charleston -4 over 149. Next game, BYU St. Mary's, 9 o'clock East. St. Mary's is -7, totals 128. Now, St. Mary's has had a tough time covering against BYU. They failed to cover in 8 out of their last 10 meetings with the Cougs. They also averaged just 62 points a game in those very meetings I just mentioned. As far as BYU is concerned, they're allowing only 69 points a game this season defensively. They're one of the better defensive rebounding teams in the conference. Fuseni Traore, he's averaging over 7.5 boards a game. He also leads the team in points. Meanwhile, Spencer Johnson scores 11 points a night. He drills 46% of his three-pointers. Now, injury-wise, Trevin Cannell, he's still out indefinitely with a shoulder. When it comes to the total, 7 out of BYU's last 10 meetings with St. Mary's stayed under. Meanwhile, the Cougs on the other side of things, they saw their last 3 straight stay under the number. Now, St. Mary's, they saw unders against the likes of Pacific, San Diego, I believe, and San Francisco. Give me BYU +7 under 128. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. It is going to be San Francisco taking on Gonzaga, and that'll be an 11:30 Eastern tip-off. Gonzaga's -15, totals 161. I'm not sure Gonzaga's played good enough defense to cover here. They're allowing 74 points per contest. They failed to cover recently against the likes of Pepperdine, BYU, and St. Mary's. They're facing a San Francisco team who won 5 out of their last 6 themselves, and they have little issue getting on the scoreboard. The Dons are averaging over 76 points per contest. Khalil Shabazz scores a team-best 17.5 points a game. Meanwhile, Tyrell Roberts is knocking down nearly 40% of his long balls. When it comes to the total, San Francisco went 60% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, Gonzaga saw overs in their last 8 straight themselves. Give me San Francisco +15 over 161.